Welcome to the Fandomnauts Podcast. My name is Andy. I am the leader of this rogue nation, and we come in peace. Yeah, I decided to go with rogue nation today. I don't know if that makes. I don't know. We're gonna figure out a little phrases and sayings as we come along. That's the beauty of doing a podcast that's never gonna end. Apparently, hopefully, 'cause I still plan on doing it for fun, even if nothing else comes out of it. You know, sometimes you just gotta like sharing your thoughts and stuff like that. So yeah, this is a podcast about discussing fandoms and we explore stuff and all different types of fandoms, whether that's movies, TV, comic books, gaming, etc., books, manga, anime, all of that stuff, and they're all their own different worlds, and what we're about is exploring them, and we usually do that through the news. Whatever nerd news comes out, we usually cover those topics and stuff like that. So basically, to start off, wait, before I start this podcast, what am I doing? Let me sell my soul for you real quick. I want you to like, comment, and subscribe, whatever platform you're on. Is that Soundcloud, YouTube? We're going to be on iTunes soon, all that stuff. At Twitter, we're at Fandomnauts. Instagram, we're at Fandomnauts. Gmail, TheFandomnauts@gmail.com. On Twitch, I'm He's Too Good. That's HEEZ, the number 2, GOOD. And my co-host is HIKADO_REIGN. That's Hokkaido Rain. And he should be in some of the podcasts coming soon. But let's see here. We're gonna go ahead and start off today with getting into some movie news. I wanted to talk about Suicide Squad. Are we some sort of Suicide Squad? Well, let's go save the world. All that corny shit. Suicide Squad. I'm actually pretty excited about this. It's a non-Batman movie. It's a movie about Batman's villains. And basically, there's a lot to say about the Suicide Squad, but how about we start with the news? The news coming from the Suicide Squad is that it looks like it's tracking to open big its opening weekend. Sorry if I keep clearing my throat. Just the older you get, for some reason, I don't know, you gotta start clearing your throat. But it looks like Suicide Squad is tracking to make $125 million opening weekend. Oh, they got to be happy with that one, especially after BVS, Warner Brothers, that is. Yeah, BVS didn't. I'm sure what it opened for, 166 or something like that, which is a fine opening, actually. I mean, most movies would be lucky to open that big, but it didn't quite cross the 1 billion mark. And when you got Batman and Superman not making $1 billion, when movies like Captain America or what's $1 billion, Jurassic Park, I mean, I guess that has a built-in. Fast and the Furious can make $1 billion, right? But Batman and Superman, the movie that we've waited for years, Frank Miller's Dark Knight, 30 years, I guess now. People have been wanting that on film together for the first time, just shaking for it. And then just all the Superman fans and there were Batman movies that have made $1 billion. This movie has Batman in it and Superman, and didn't make $1 billion. That's let's put it like that. Like the Dark Knight, I think the Dark Knight and what's the third one? The one with Bane, Rises. Those both, I'm pretty sure, made $1 billion. I'll look that up in a minute. But yeah, if you can't have a Batman versus Superman movie and one of the characters has already proven that they are $1 billion franchise, you did something wrong there. That's on you, right? But this movie looks like it has a little bit different tone. I mean, it still looks a little dark, but it's like dark, twisted humor. Seems like, which I'm excited for. I really want to try something different, and this movie has a couple of different things that I'm excited for. It has the Joker, which Jared Leto as a Joker is going to be an interesting experience. He looks like a mafioso type, like a crime lord type, like a thug, I hope he's Hope he's smart. Hopefully that's if that's what should get him. I mean, if who's Batman more scared of, Joker or Superman, right? And in a lot of ways, Joker, right? I mean, I would say Joker. Superman's not that hard to figure out once you've decided you have to kill him, I guess. But Joker, I mean, I don't know. But one thing that gets me, if Batman started killing, I mean, if you just started killing because it hurts so much, why not start with the Joker? They just need to explain that in one of these movies here. But hey, you have a movie with Joker, with the Suicide Squad themselves, including Harley Quinn and all those cool characters, Deadshot. Let's see. I know there's some other. Boomerang looks actually kind of cool. He's not cool per se, but he's well known. If you're a Flash fan. And then you have Batman, Amanda Waller. You have Joker, like I said. It's shaping up to be a pretty interesting looking movie. I'm definitely excited as a DC fan myself. I just hope we're not disappointed. But this is David Ayer. If you haven't seen End of Watch, that movie is amazing, and it's character driven, and it's funny, and it's emotional, and it's sad, and it's exciting, and it puts you through like a range of emotions. That movie, definitely watch that. End of Watch, I recommend it. It's a great movie, great movie. Like that movie is great, and he did Fury, which is another great movie. So yeah, Suicide Squad is probably gonna be a good movie at the very least. I don't see how he can, unless Warner Brothers just takes so much away from, like, they just put their little corporate hands on it and get a little defensive after Batman vs Superman. That's the only way I see this this movie getting messed up. But if it's truly in his hands and it's truly his vision and his choices, I'm all for it. Let's do this. It's probably gonna be an awesome movie. Awesome movie. And 125 opening weekend, that's sick. They've got to be excited for that. And if it's good, this movie might make $1 billion. This movie, because it still has Batman in it. It still has Will Smith, who's a box office draw. I mean, don't sleep on Willie, even though he's After Earth was After Earth was horrible. But and he dodged a bullet with that Independence Day 2. That shit. I'm not even seeing it yet, but I heard that shit was horrible. But Will Smith made the right decision. Suicide Squad, he could still drink. This movie could make $1 billion by itself. I think it's gonna break the 700 million mark though. Like just like it's gonna be a surprise hit at the very least. Like Guardians, they were in the 700 million mark. What else? Deadpool's in the 700 million mark. So I think that's where Suicide Squad is going to be overall, 700 million plus. But it could, if it's a good movie, because it's David Ayer and he's such a character driven dude. I know he's going to put Easter eggs and Batman fight scenes in there, and Joker and Harley alone. Like, he's going to put so many interesting things in there that you're probably going to want to watch the movie more than once. It's probably going to be one of those kind of movies where, kind of like Deadpool or other movies, where you're gonna want to peep everything he put in it. And since it's fun, it's gonna be easy to watch more than once. Funner movies are easier to watch. Deadpool, you can watch that movie a million times. It's fine. There's just certain movies where they're great movies, but they're harder to get going and get into. It's like you have to commit time and dedication to watch it, but it pays off. And then there are movies where you can just pop them in, and like there's so many cool things, and the pacing is just right, and there's those movies. I think Suicide Squad is going to be that. I think it's around 2 hours, so it's going to be easy. It's definitely going to be easy to watch. I think that's going to be one to look out for. So it has. I don't know. Does it cross the $1 billion mark? It might. Look at that cast. Look at that director. Look at the property. I mean, the property itself, Suicide Squad, no, but it's affiliated with the DC universe. It's affiliated with Batman and Joker alone, which, if you look back 7 years ago, whatever, there was an awesome experience with Batman and Joker. So, and that made $1 billion. So, And look at any Marvel movie that comes out. Ant-Man is making stupid money. Guardian, property name and recognition. DC can still bank off that. So, I mean, it could, if it's a great movie, it will definitely make $1 billion. Yeah, I think so. If it's fun, if it's Deadpool but more, it definitely could go that way. Suicide Squad in general, I'm really excited. I haven't really had the opportunity to cover it much, so let's talk a little bit more about the cast. I'll start with the cast. How about that? Like I said, Jared Leto as the Joker looks interesting. From the trailers, it looks like a more gangster Joker. He's definitely physically fit. It looks like there's some flashback scenes on how he made Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn. I think her name was Harley Quinzel. She was like his psychiatrist. But they have Margot Robbie playing her, and she's amazing. She's super hot. And she's an amazing actress. I don't want to say her hotness takes anything away from an actress. She could be hideous, and she's still a great actress. She knows how to use her look with her acting, her physicality and sexuality and all that stuff. But she also knows how to just act in general, just straight up act. Like she just, I'm dope too. I'm just a dope actor. And you see that in Wolf of Wall Street in certain scenes. I say you see that a lot in what's that, Will Smith and Margot Robbie, that movie where they're like scamming people. I forgot what it's called. The Flash? No, The Flash. What the hell am I talking about? But I can see a little bit of that chemistry in there. I wonder if you've seen that animated movie, The Assault on Arkham, Batman, or I think that's what it's called, Batman Assault on Arkham. It is basically the Suicide Squad movie, and I think they're going to pull a lot from that animated little film. In that one, it looks Harley Quinn and Deadshot had a little thing. Harley Quinn was attracted to Deadshot, and she was mad at Joker, so I guess they had a little, one-off, or I don't know, he has a little crush on her or whatever it was. They kind of got it in, and that was a pretty adult animated series, by the way. I wonder if they're gonna explore that in this movie, because they have a good chemistry. And what was that movie called? Oh my god, I don't know. The movie was pretty good. I mean, it was decent. I wouldn't go to movies to watch it, but I did like it when I watched it at home. So there was that movie. Deadshot. I hope it's not the Will Smith movie. That's really what I'm not, because that tends to happen. He's part of an ensemble in this one, and hopefully he's just an important piece to the puzzle. But it's not live or die by Will Smith. Hopefully, I don't think David Ayer allowed that either, though. And I don't think Will Smith is really approaching it like that. It doesn't look like it from the trailers either. It looks like he's a very important character, definitely. But I don't think he's necessarily the main character. I do think it's an ensemble movie. So, the one character that I'm hesitant about is the witch. What's her name? Enchantress. I forgot the actress's name, but she's like a model, and she's acted in some things, but she's an inexperienced actress. She's pretty, but and the whole magic part of it, to me, it's like the movie's diving into the magic part. DC's diving to magic a little too soon for my taste. It looks like whatever's going on is happening in Midway City in the movie, which is, I forget whose city that is, but it looks like the city itself is it's shut down or something. I don't know. It looks like there's some situation happening in that city, and they're the ones sent in to go stop it. So it must be some magic situation, dark energy, some sort of dark, whatever you want to say, taking over Midway City. Suicide Squad is sent in to kill the leader or whatever it is to stop the situation from happening, and Enchantress must be a key piece to doing that. So I'm thinking that's what the story is. And then Joker is the X factor, the loose cannon that's dropped into the movie that messes up all the plans for both the Suicide Squad and the government trying to control the Suicide Squad and everybody involved. Batman, I think he's the thing that basically throws a wrench in their plan. And his goal is most likely to get Harley Quinn back. or in the anime series, Joker wasn't really sweating Harley. Harley was on Joker's dick. Harley was always on Joker. Mr. J, I love you, Mr. J. Ooh, pudding. She was all over him. And if they're making it where he's trying to get her back, and he didn't really care about it. He's risked her life multiple times to get his end goal met. I don't think he has. Joker's a little bit of a he is a sociopath, and I don't really think he cares about it. Really, he just knows she's useful because she keeps somehow surviving and helping. So okay, until you're not useful anymore, then I'll keep you around. And he mind fucked her, so I think he has I think that turns him on, like a little mind fuckery that he has with her. So I don't know. I think that's the through line. And then once he gets Harley back, because he probably will, he got that Joker dick, and Harley's on that forever. I think the movie's gonna end with his escape, Joker's escape with Harley into Gotham, amongst all the confusion, and that's where the Batman movie's gonna open up. Joker's back in town. Batman is gonna need to stop him. Red Hood's gonna be involved later on in the plot. Deadshot, all those guys I'm pretty sure the Batman movie's gonna have Deadshot in it, Red Hood in it, Joker in it. It's gonna be a pretty badass movie. Yep. Who else is in this? Enchantress, I already talked about her. Let's call who's gonna die. Slipknot, dead. He's not even in the later trailers. You already know he's gonna be dead. He's probably gonna be the first one to get blown up, his head blown off by that little bomb thing. The next one is probably gonna be El Diablo. He seems like a badass character. He can control fire and shit. I think that's his power, is fire manipulation. And I like the actor. I forgot where else he was from. He was in an End of Watch. He was in something. He might have been in something else, but yeah, El Diablo looks like a badass character, but he's not a important character in the comics or anything like that, and I don't think he's gonna be anyone's arch villain in any of the other movies. He looks like a one-off for this movie, and it is called Suicide Squad, so some people have to die. So looking at the actors involved, I don't think you're gonna kill off Harley Quinn or Deadshot. You're probably gonna want to use them later. Don't think you're gonna want to kill Jai Courtney as Boomerang, which that looks actually good now. Nothing much to say about that, but it looks pretty good. He looks funny. Hopefully they can show because Jai Courtney's been struggling with those movies, man. He's not. He has some shitty movies, and he keeps doing movies that I'm not interested. He was cool in Jack Reacher, but he didn't say shit. And what was it? What was that one movie? The Hunger Games ripoff. What was that? The one with the other chick? Inception? No, I forgot what it's called. He's in that movie. It's like the Hunger Games ripoff. Insurgent or Divergent or something like that. He's in that franchise, and that franchise just sucks in general. So he fits right in. I'm not saying that he sucks, but but I can tell he has talent. Jai Courtney does. He's gonna get better, but I don't think Jai Courtney's gonna die. He might get killed off. He's usually a Flash villain, so I don't know if they're gonna use him in the Flash movie at any moment. If they do, then they'll probably save him for the Flash movie, so he probably won't die. I'm assuming Killer Croc is gonna die. Even he's a badass character, but I just don't see any room for him in any other Batman movie. So this is probably it for you, and they already have a history. So if they ever need you in a flashback, then you'll be used there, bro. But other than that, I just don't see it. If there was gonna be a live action show for these characters, maybe he was right, but he's not making it out. Slipknot's not making it out. El Diablo's not making it out. Who else? Enchantress. She's probably gonna not make. If she does make it out, she's gonna go into Justice League Dark or something. If she doesn't, then she's just gonna die at the conclusion of the movie for the end scene. For the end action piece, whatever that is. Who else is in the Suicide Squad? The Sword Chick. What is the Sword Chick's name? She's on Arrow. Okay, I don't know. It's frustrating. I forget her name, but she most likely, if there's a sequel to the Suicide Squad, her and Rick Flagg, because I think she's his bodyguard or she owes him, kind of like that her and Arrow relationship. But I think Rick Flagg is probably gonna make it out of the movie. His homie, I don't know what Scott Eastwood is doing in this movie because apparently he's not Robin. Everybody thought he was gonna be Nightwing. I mean, Dick Grayson Nightwing, or Agent 17, I think is his name. When he turns into a secret agent, but apparently he's just another dude that he's just in the movie because he's friends with everybody. So still leaves hope for him to be Wolverine. I think if he's not Dick Grayson. So he might die. Scott Eastwood might die actually if he's in the squad. Rick Flagg. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a Suicide Squad 2, right? So I'm pretty sure Rick Flagg is going to be in Suicide Squad 2 to manage the new team. The sword. What is her name? The demon sword chick. She has or the soul sword. I think it's called. Katana. Yeah, Katana. She might die protecting him. So that. Because it's a new actress, she's not important. She probably is going to die protecting him or sacrificing herself for him or something like that. I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah, a lot of these people ain't making it out because this is not called Suicide Squad for no reason. So But one other thing I'm excited to see is Batman himself. So there's been comments. There's been comments made from David Ayer recently when he was asked about Batman in the movie, and he's saying that Batman is. He said some interesting things. Can't talk right now. He said some interesting things, like Batman. It's always been told from his perspective, apparently. So this is going to be the first movie where you see it from the villain's perspective, and it shows you that this dude is a demon. Like it shows how the villains view him as a demon. He's scary, and they probably have all grudges against him. I'm hoping for an ending fight scene where Batman puts them all back into. I hope that's how the movie ends. An ending fight scene where Batman puts them all back into prison. Joker escapes, but they have an interaction. Joker and Batman just have one interaction. Please, Warner Brothers. Please, Warner Brothers, please, one conversation, just one extended, just please. If that was what the reshoots were for, then make that movie, please. But they probably didn't, but hopefully they do. Yeah, Batman is going to be the key factor. If he's awesome, most likely he's going to be Ben Affleck's in it. I mean, this movie is ridiculous. It's actually, when you think about it, when you look at the cast, the director, the budget, this movie is, I haven't seen a bad trailer. I mean, this movie could be sick. This movie could be Avengers level if you really think. I mean, they have a cast. I mean, every character is like, and then they have some newbies, but they're going to kill those guys off. I don't know, man. If it's good, this movie it has repeatable watch value. Hey, man. Suicide Squad 2, go ahead, throw that in there. Let's just do the whole thing, dude. Let's do the whole thing. So I'm excited for Suicide Squad. I hope it's good, and I hope it gets a bigger. I hope it gets 180 million on some Captain America shit. But I don't know. That movie had Spider-Man and Iron Man, and it had a lot of people that you just it's hard to compete with. But yeah, Suicide Squad. I'm gonna check it out. Next topic is I'm going to bring a couple of fandoms to you a couple of new fandoms to your attention. Well, new to me. So I don't know if they're new to you. Last night, I'm going to start with the thing I watched last night. It's it's a great, let me put it to great show. First episode. It's one of the best first episodes to a show I've seen because it hooked me. It got me right in, and it's HBO's The Night Of. It's an HBO miniseries, and basically it centers around this Pakistani American he's basically this guy is basically in the title episode, I believe it's called The Beach. Yeah, The Beach. He's just basically a good. I mean, he's not. I don't want to say good guy, but he's a normal guy. You can tell he's a family life. He lives a Pakistani American regular family life. They just show, and he just wants to have a good time every now and then. It looks like so he wanted to go out with his boys to a party, and that didn't end up working out. So he got disappointed. He tried everything to go there. Oh, sorry, spoilers. And basically the show is just well shot. well directed, well edited. It gives you a sense of atmosphere, like you're really in New York for some reason. Like I feel like I don't know. I have a great sound system, so when I turn it up and like I let the bass hit and the sounds from the city come out and the shots and the conversations people are having and the actors, that it was so New York to me. And I've only been in New York twice, but it's awesome, and it gives you that vibe, a genuine vibe, basically. The show is smart. There's twists and turns, and it does a lot of smart things. You can tell there's a lot of things you have to pay attention to within the episode itself, because they're going to come up later, like where he was, what time it was, when it was, the people he's run into, the people that are identifying him, the procedures that the police are doing. So if you guys don't mind spoilers, I'm going to go into spoiler territory for this first episode, just to give you an example of what I'm talking about. Basically, it's the main character's name is Nazir. He goes by Nas for short. And he's basically, it's just about one night where he was invited to he's helping someone, he's tutoring someone at his local college, I think, and then they invite him to a party, the predominantly black party, and his parents don't like him going to that side of town. I mean, that's not a big deal, but basically you can tell he doesn't get much opportunity to have social situations, and talk to girls and stuff like that, or party with other peers and things like that. So when he gets this opportunity, because he was invited, he's desperate to he's a little desperate to do it. He wants to go really bad, and then he arranges for his friend to go give him a ride down there so they can go together and hang out. His friend bails on him in the last second, so Nas is extremely disappointed, and basically takes his dad's car without his taxi, without his permission, his dad's taxi. And then he just decides to just go ahead and check it out. He's gonna, it doesn't seem like he's gonna try to do anything crazy. He just wants to go check out the party, come back, right? He goes to check out the party, gets lost, and then a lot of things are happening that you have to pay attention to, like the people we meet. You can tell that these things are all going to be part of the court case, and so like he meets a girl, him and the girl have because he can't find the party, him and the girl have a interesting night. The girl's kind of fucked up in a way where it sounds like she was planning. The reason why it's called The Beach is because she gets in his taxi mistakenly, his dad's taxi, mistakenly, while he's looking for where the party is, because he's lost. And this girl's really, really, really mysterious. So like they're having like a very mysterious conversation. Like it's a cryptic conversation they're having, and the girl's like, "Take me, you're a taxi, take me." And he's like, "Okay, where?" She's like, "To the beach." And and she says the beach, and that's weird. Like, why do you want to go to the beach? You're in New York. I mean, I guess there is beaches in New York, but he's like, I can take you to a river. She agrees, so they go off from there, and they have like, it's just one of those kind of stories where they have a wild night with a stranger, type of deal. So he gets to know the girl throughout the night a little bit more, and it turns out she's a little fucked up. She's into like hurting herself, and she gives him drugs and stuff. So the night starts to get shady. It shows the people they start running into, and you have to pay attention to these people. Like a guy that they met at a gas station, because she was smoking near the gas while they were getting gas, and she flicked a cigarette, and it's a memorable moment because he walks up to her and says, "Do you want to kill us all?" And he was driving a hearse, and he was like, "Do you want to be the next passenger?" Smoking, so he's gonna remember her face. I mean, I can tell that's gonna come up later. So things like that. He had Nas had while he was walking her home, he had a run in with these two guys, and basically they have an exchange where they had some racist comments were said by the two guys, and Nas didn't appreciate it, but he just kept it moving. It was just a weird interaction, but it's an interaction where it was memorable. Right, so they would remember his face and what time it was, and the guy that was looking at. So there's all these things that the first episode gives you as a setup. I think is well placed. So the show is really good for that. Cinematography, the show is well shot. It looks realistic. It is dark, but it's clear at the same time. It's not too dark for some reason. It's a crime drama, but it's not like it's just overly. It's not. It's more realistic than dark. That's what I would say. It feels more, and the twists and the turns and the show is really good at delivering intensity, or not intensity. Sorry, talking too fast, but a sense of tension is what I'm saying. Yeah, so like the tension builds. So there are certain scenes where, okay, so so the girl ends up, spoilers again. The girl ends up dying somehow. I'm not gonna spoil that, but she's dying somehow that night, and he finds her, and then the story takes off from there as he's trying to leave because he freaks out, and he gets picked up, and basically it gets all tied together beautifully. How he got caught, how he got caught doing this is the best part of this episode to me. So pay attention. So the way he got caught, it's such a tension. It's like it's basically the last 20 minutes of the episode that is, and it's the best part because it's so tension filled. Because you don't know if he's gonna get away with it or caught or they're gonna tie it. He gets just go ahead and watch it. It's a great show. It's called The Night Of on HBO. It's a great show. It's the first episode. Peeped it last night. It's a miniseries. It's a crime drama, but it's funny, realistic. Well, certain people are funny. Now you can tell the show's just gonna go into a place where it's like, oh, it's fucked up. And the thing that makes you feel for the main character Nas is his family. I have foreign parents that come from a different country, not Pakistan, but and sometimes when you come to a new country, as a family, if you're from here you wouldn't realize, but when foreign people come to this country and they're very afraid and they're very tight knit because all they have is each other. They don't know no one here, and they don't know the rules necessarily, the cultural rules, let alone the laws, and so they're very protective and defensive, and they try to stay in tight knit communities and stick with what they're familiar with because it can be very scared, and so basically families are tighter here than they probably would even be there. You know what I mean? Because it's a different situation. You're in a new place, even if you've been here for years. It's not like it's truly something you can get used. I mean, it's just still another place to you until years and years pass. And you can tell that's the similar vibe that you're getting from his parents. His family in general, they're very, once he goes missing or once he's not responding the way, because I've gone not missing, but I've been out late at night and late without telling my parents, or my phone died or whatever, and the way they portrayed it looks just like that. I know every it doesn't matter where you're from, your family might do that if it's serious enough, but it's the way they portrayed it. It just seems so familiar to me, and I thought it was a genuine portrayal of that. But yeah, I mean, the show is great. I think it's genuine. I think it's gonna be their answer to True Detective, because True Detective was really good season 1. Season 2 was whack. I didn't even finish it, but True Detective season 1 was really good. So I would definitely recommend True Detective season 1. And since it got canceled, I think this is their next show to be like, hey, check us out right here. Yeah. All right. So yeah, check it out. The Night Of on HBO Go, all that stuff. Go get that. All right. So the last thing I want to talk to you guys about today, it's the last topic, is another fandom that I've recently got into. This time I'm going to move away from movie or television, because we do talk about that a lot on the Fandomnauts. I am going to move into the realm of comic books. Yes, comic books. I read as well. Don't be surprised. Shocking. He reads. Yes, I read books with pictures in them. So, let's add that caveat. I'm still that guy, but I read nonetheless. So I just wanted to bring attention. Well, it's new to me. That's a comic book that's new to me. it's not new to a lot of people. Apparently, it's really popular. I didn't realize how popular it was till I finished the first couple of chapters. Looked up some stuff about it online, and apparently it's huge. And I didn't realize how huge it was because I'm not deep into the comic book world. I'm very mainstream comic book kind of guy, you know. But I checked this out. It's a great read. It's called Saga. Saga is an epic space opera fantasy comic book series written by Brian K. Vaughan and illustrated by Fiona Staples. And basically, this is a it's like a sci-fi, like I said, space opera fantasy. It's a sci-fi. It's kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy mixed with Star Wars mixed with Firefly. And it's just one of those kinds of stories, and it's just really well told, and it's never boring. It always grips you, you know. It's one of those things where it's either always fun or it's always there's always a moment with heart or, you know, you know, action or gravitas or something. You know, it's a great comic book, and it looks like it's absolutely designed. Okay, so this is going to be confusing, but it is, and at the same time, it isn't designed for you know, something on screen, film or television. Most likely television, if you want to get the full experience of the comic book, because it's very episodic and it's a long form storytelling. But I think you can do a movie if you want to do, or a miniseries, maybe more of a miniseries with a couple of seasons, a limited series. Yeah, you can definitely do something like that. At the same time, it looks like, because the way you read it, it seems like you're watching a show or a movie, but I don't know how this could ever be made into a show or a movie. The budget that to do it true to heart, maybe a big budget movie that wouldn't. Yeah, you could definitely do it into a big budget movie. It would be kind of a weird movie, but there's a lot of things you wouldn't be able to do in the movie if you're trying to market it to mass audience, because there's a lot of sex. And just weird kind of conversations and scenarios and rated R type of things, and also like it goes there, and it also seems like art at the same time. It's just really cool. So you know, basically just a quick rundown of what the you know, what the actual story is. Basically, it opens up with our leads. The leads are Alana and Marco. So basically, Alana and Marco are two lovers from different worlds, right? And one world is an actual like planet called Landfall, which Alana comes from, and they're more based on technology and stuff like that, and they have wings. They look like not fairies, but like they have these weird type of wings. So she's part of that nation or planet or civilization. And then they have a neighboring moon, which Marco comes from, which is which they call Wreath, but it's like its only satellite. And the Wreath are they have horns. They're humanoid, of course. They're all humanoid, but they have horns, and they're more based on magic. And I guess that's the case. And so they've been having these two societies have been having a huge war against each other, but they refuse to just completely destroy each other, because if one gets destroyed, I guess the other's sense of gravity gets thrown out of whack and destroys both planets. So instead, they basically just outsourced the war to other worlds, and eventually the war got. These two civilizations were so big, the world got spread throughout the galaxy since it was outsourced to other worlds. But the thing is, there's peace on both worlds, I guess, and so that's not that important. But that's what's going on. So there's a war between their race that involves the entire galaxy. Well, it spread through the entire galaxy because it was outsourced, and affects other races, and you have to pretty much pick a side, you know. And they pretty much are in a Romeo and Juliet type of situation. Alana and Marco meet, and within, I think it said 12 hours, they fall in love, or like a day or something, they fall in love and escape together. So they refer to it at the beginning of the chapter, but they never show you until a few chapters. Well, I guess more than a few chapters later, but within the first volume. But they show you how they met, and pretty much after they meet their parents. But so basically, that's the setup. And what happens is the story is about Alana and Marco on the run. They had a baby. The first baby. Well, I think it's the first baby. I mean, there's references to, the races trying before and not being successful, but it's the first hybrid baby of the two races, I believe. So it's like it has both, and the comic book is actually narrated by the baby, the child of her name is Hazel, the child of Marco and Alana, and it's narrated by her, but she's reflecting on all these events that happened, how crazy her life was because of the situation, and that baby. So basically, they're both on the run because they both renounced their empires or whatever, and ran away and escaped together. And that's not good for both sides because they need the war to keep going because of industrial war, the war complex, all that shit. The industrial war, there's a machine that wants the war to keep going, all that shit. So both sides have hired. Okay. So the baby represents that there can be peace, I guess, that between the two planets, and people don't want that. Haters don't want that. They want there to be war forever. So Hazel represents the possibilities that of peace, basically, and they want that dead and over with. Both there's two, but the one from Alana's planet. Again, the war has been outsourced, so they have a bunch of different aliens, not just their race, but another different races on their side that contribute to the war. And one of those aliens on Alana's home planet side, which would be Landfall side, is a race of monitor head people. This is exactly why it's going to be hard. One of the main characters has a TV for a face. So yeah, good luck putting that in a movie. I mean, you could, but who's gonna play that or what? I mean, TV for a face and human body, and this dude is athletic, and I don't know how this is gonna. And they have monitor face sex, so they have a bunch of sex, and when he has horrible nightmares, it displays on his monitor. It's pretty funny. But he's a prince, and he's about to have a kid of his own. But this prince, his duty is to make sure that those. The two traitors that had that child are executed or whatever, or are not heard of. So he hires so they basically have another character called the Will. He's a mercenary, the Will, and the Will is a really cool character. I like him. He's not a bad person. He's a good guy. It's not that he's a good guy. He's kind of like a Han Solo type, and he is a mercenary, so he will do what it takes for money, right? Whatever he needs to do for money. So he gets hired to go after the two and the baby. He's told to kill the parents, bring the baby back alive. The baby's wanted back alive for some reason. They haven't explained why they want the baby back. They just put on the front of, we're not murderers, we won't just kill the baby. But there's another reason why they want the baby. I guess the baby may be special because there's been references to hybrids before. I keep calling it hybrids, but the two races intermingling before, but they were never successful for some reason, or it's that they came there's something that went wrong every time, so it's never been successful for some reason. Whatever success in that situation means, I don't know. Meaning if they had they were able to have children, but they never came out right or died soon after that, or whatever that means. So basically, Prince Robot, I believe is the fourth. Yeah, Prince Robot the fourth. He's assigned to capture them. So he has a conflict with his counterpart from the Wreath. Basically, the Wreath and the space, the Prince Robot are working together to capture. And so basically the situation is the two main characters, Alana and Marco, with their baby Hazel, running from their life with not only Prince Robot is still after them himself personally, so he goes after them after the Will isn't very successful on his first attempt, but the Will continues to go after them as well. So the Will's after them, Prince Robot's after them. Oh yeah, both armies are after them, and they're spread word throughout the galaxy, so they're wanted fugitives. So that's pretty much the setup, and then this is kind of an important part, but this is one of the characters I like as well. One of the characters, basically, to get off the initial planet, I don't know if it's landfall. There's another planet. There's a planet that they're on. I forgot what the name of that planet is, but they're trying to get off of it. And there's a rocket ship forest. Basically, there's a magical forest. This is that kind of story. There's a magical forest that makes rocket ships out of trees. And they need to get to there. And then there's a ghost. There's a spirit of a dead girl. I think her name is Isabel. This is the planet Cleve. Okay, so Isabel, they're on the planet Cleve, and they're trying to get out to the rocket ship forest. Take a rocket ship to. This is pretty cool. And Isabel doesn't. I guess she died because of the war. So she became a spirit of the planet, and she can't leave the planet. The residents of the planet, when they die there, I guess they become part of the planet as in ghost form. They can never leave unless they attach themselves to a host. So I guess Isabel forever attaches herself to Hazel, the baby, to protect her. So she says, "I'm gonna look after your girl. I want to get off this planet. That's the deal." And Alana only agrees to it because it looks like Marco's about to die, and there's certain situations where everything is going to shit, and that's the only reason why she agrees to it. But it turns out Isabel isn't that bad, and she has the power to make you see images, scary images, illusions, And that's pretty much the case. They pretty much eloped and they're on the run, and then they have these bounty hunters and on mercenaries after them, and the story's about them going through the galaxy. And I think the story is headed in a direction where they're the story of how the galaxy was unified. And they do it through this cosmic adventure, meeting different characters, different storylines that tie in together. The universe, it's funny. The galaxy is huge, but the main set of characters are so interconnected. It seems so small. It's like the way the story is told, but it seems big at the same time. It's kind of like Star Wars in that way. There's only a few different characters you focus on in Star Wars, but they're so interconnected, and they're part of such a big world that it just gives you the right balance of personal and epicness at the same time, right? That the book does that. Again, I don't know how they'll ever make it into a show, so I think this is going to be a comic book for as long as we can see. Maybe a cartoon series. If they do something animated, and they're just not afraid to go there, that's probably where this is going to be more successful. An animated series. And it would have to be an adult one, and I don't know how long that would last, because adult animated series don't seem to make much money. Only kids stuff. So maybe they can do that. If HBO is looking for something after Game of Thrones, they can attempt it. They can definitely attempt it. And I think HBO probably the more successful one if they did try it. I really wish this was adapted. I've become a part of the fandom. I haven't finished it. I'm at this part where they meet this author of this book she's been reading. So, and apparently some stuff is going to go down there. So, I'm going to continue reading it. I'll give you updates on the fandom. But it's a great book. I definitely recommend it if you're into reading comic books. This one, I warn you, it's mature. So at some points, they do show full-on sex, and there's some hard stuff to look at. There's a storyline where there's a 9-year-old girl who's in a prostitution ring. And the Will, the mercenary, he gets the reason why he's sidetracked from the mission of capturing. This is why I like the Will, of capturing Alana and Marco, is because he's not necessarily a bad person. He just does what the job requires. And so the Will, in the middle of the mission, which he's never done this before, as far as pursuing, he decides to say, I'm not doing this mission, and decides to try to find a way to break the little girl out of the prostitution ring. And the little girl becomes his sidekick after that. So that's one of the storylines, and then he continues pursuit afterwards. But he officially, tells everybody to fuck off. I'm going to help this little girl, which I think, character driven stuff like that is really good. So yeah, that's what I want to bring to the fandom knots today. That is it. So I think I've talked long enough, and this was the podcast for today, guys. Hope you liked it. Again, if you want to contact us, we are best being able to contact at TheFandomnauts Gmail account. So that's TheFandomnauts@gmail.com, or on Twitter at Fandomnauts, Instagram at Fandomnauts. You guys, if you like, comment, subscribe, it helps out a lot. This is all in the description down below. Check us out on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/the-fandomnauts. Our YouTube is in the link below. Hakado or Herb has an art page. All that stuff is down below. We'll be back tomorrow, guys, and hopefully some more interesting news comes out, and we can all talk to them together. But other than that, guys, I want you to have a great rest of your day. Fandomnauts out. You come in peace.